eye pokes. What are we doing here? This has been going on forever, hasn't it? I mean, last night we had Kizriev and Muradov. That got stopped because of an eye poke. How many times are we going to do this? You know, it's getting so frustrating because it feels like there's at least a stopgap measure that makes sense. And I don't know, I'm guessing there's probably a reason. You know, there's some sort of a deal that the UFC has with the glove maker. I've heard that, those type of rumors, and read some little snippets and parts of articles on it. You know, what do I know? I don't know their business dealings, but I mean, so a while ago, Joe Rogan talked about it. I don't know, a couple years. Talked about, you know, he at one point he had Gagey and Trevor Wittman on the show, probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I don't know. I lose track of time because I follow so much stuff. My life is just 100 miles an hour all day, every day. So I lose a little bit of track of time. It was a while ago. He had a conversation with them and they talked about it and they went through it, and Trevor Wittman explained how the padding in his gloves is better and why it's better, and the glove design in general is better and why that is. And part of the reason was that the current MMA gloves, when your hand is relaxed, your fingers would be extended. In his glove, when your hand is relaxed, your fingers would be curved. So you're not, to do the wrong thing, you're fighting it. It's unnatural. So if you want to pull your fingers out all the way straight, you would be fighting the contour of the glove. So your natural resting position would be with your fingers curved down, which makes perfect sense. I think it's brilliant. I don't understand. That's why I think there's more to it, because it's an obvious, if all things were equal, yes, let's do it. Come on, we got to stop this stupid eye poke crap. Look at, I don't mean to be critical about one person in general, but I think some people might even use it as part of the strategy. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? Everybody knows that saying. You know? And the bottom line is, John Jones uses everything to his advantage. And he sure does have a lot of eye pokes. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. What do I know? But I can tell you he's from Rochester, New York, and so am I. And if I was to speak on you know, different places have different attitudes. If I was in a fight in Rochester, which I've been in, I don't know, 50, 100, I don't know, I can't, a lot. I've been in a lot of street fights. I got a big mouth. Yeah, I'm gonna poke you in the eye. I don't care. I would, as a general rule, I don't try to cheat at anything ever. Playing cards, anything, I'm very much against it. But a fight is a different thing if you grow up in a bad neighborhood, which if you grew up in a bad neighborhood, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Once someone commits to hurting you, all rules are off the table. I'm you know, I'll tell you one story. My family was around the mafia, the Italian mafia. That's how I grew up around that kind of stuff. And one day we're in my kitchen and there's two mob guys in there. And we're all just, I was probably like 16, something like that. And the one guy said, I heard you got in a fight. And I said, yeah, no big deal, whatever. You know, I just tuned the kid up and we were done. And the other mob guy gets up. I was leaning against the counter and I had a cup of coffee in my hand. He said, put the coffee down. And I was like, uh-oh, you know? He goes, so if somebody started tuning you up, what would you do? And And I go, I'd punch him, whatever. It's stupid stuff. I boxed when I was a kid. I think I'm a tough guy, whatever. He grabs me by the nuts, twists. I go to the floor and he goes, that's how you end a fight. And he goes back, sits down and drinks his coffee. Poking in the eye ain't nothing if you're going to grab some man's balls. You get poked in the eye all day long on that. But anyway, back to reality. So apparently Joe Rogan set up a meeting with Dana and some other people and Trevor Wittman. Apparently that deal didn't work out. This was 2 or 3 years ago. Joe, a couple months ago, on one, I don't remember, I think it was one of his MMA guys he had on, one of his, you know how he has the show and then he has MMA show number, whatever. I think it was one of the MMA shows somebody was on. And he mentioned it again, and he said, I feel like I have to go back and try to find out why it didn't work out, and can we get something to work out? Because it's too much, man. We got to fix the eye poke thing. We got to take that down. It ruins a lot of stuff for no reason.